Have you ever wondered why some ideas just take off and change the world, while others seem to disappear without a trace? Well, the secret isn't just about having a great idea, it's about telling a great story. Today, we're going to break down a simple 6-step framework that can turn any message, and I mean any message, from a business pitch to a personal goal into something truly unforgettable. So this right here, this is basically the DNA of every single story you have ever loved. No, seriously, think about it for a second. Every blockbuster movie, every Super Bowl ad, every compelling presentation, it all comes down to these 3 things: a character who wants something really bad, and the conflict that gets in their way. It's just the universal language our brains are wired to understand. Okay, first up, the character. Now this is so much more than just a name or a face. This is our anchor. This is the person your audience sees a little bit of themselves in, the one they latch onto and start rooting for. Without a character, your story just has no heart. But you know, a character just sitting around doing nothing isn't much of a story, is it? They have to want something. That's desire. Desire is the engine of your narrative. It's the mission, the goal. It's the thing that pulls the whole story forward. Without it, you're pretty much stuck in neutral. And finally, we get to the magic ingredient: conflict. Why is this so critical? Well, let's be honest, nobody cares about a story where everything is perfect and easy. The struggle, the roadblocks, the moments of doubt, that's where all the emotion comes from. Conflict is the friction that lights the narrative on fire. So, we've got our 3 core ingredients: character, desire, and conflict. But how do we actually put them together into a story that, works? That is exactly where this 6-step blueprint comes in. Think of it like a recipe for turning those raw elements into a powerful and memorable story. Here's the whole journey we're going to map out. We'll start with the setup, then we hit them with a game-changing crisis. From there, we follow the pursuit and the inevitable conflict, building all the way up to a powerful climax, and we finish with the new reality in the aftermath. Now, to make this super clear, let's follow the story of a baker named Alex. Alright, so every great journey has to start somewhere, and in storytelling, our #1 job is to get the audience hooked right away. We do that with these first 2 steps. We establish the normal, everyday world in the setup, and then we completely shatter it with the crisis. So step 1 is the setup. This is our before picture. It's really important to show the hero's ordinary world, their day-to-day life, so the audience understands exactly what's at stake. You see, before we can appreciate the transformation, we have to know exactly where they started from. Okay, let's meet our hero, Alex. He owns his own bakery. Sounds like the dream, right? But the reality is, it's an 80-hour-a-week nightmare. He's totally burned out. And immediately we get it. We can feel that exhaustion. We can empathize with that feeling. Okay, so the ordinary world is established. Now it's time to break it. The crisis is that one single event, that tipping point, that forces the hero to make a change. We've all had moments like this, right? It's that moment where doing nothing suddenly becomes more painful than taking that scary leap into the unknown. For Alex, that tipping point wasn't just another long day. It was the emotional gut punch of missing his daughter's school play. And here's the absolute key from that moment. The crisis created a very specific, measurable goal. He didn't just say, "I want things to be better." He had a clear target: save 10 hours a week. That specificity is what gives the rest of the story its direction. So our hero has his mission. Now we get to what I like to call the messy middle. This is where the real work happens. It's the action, the struggle, and ultimately the transformation that leads to that sweet, sweet victory. So next up are steps 3 and 4, pursuit and conflict. And you should really think of these 2 as a dance. Pursuit is the hero taking a step forward, the actions they're taking to reach their goal. And conflict? That's the universe pushing back. It's all the obstacles that get in their way. You absolutely need both for the story to have any real tension. This is so important. Whatever you do, do not skip the struggle. It's tempting to jump to the happy ending, but showing the messy parts, the software glitches, the moments of self-doubt, the steep learning curve, that's what makes a story feel real. It builds trust. When your audience sees the fight, the victory at the end means so much more. And all of that struggle and conflict leads to this, the payoff. The climax is that big moment of truth, the final showdown where the goal is finally achieved. And the aftermath? That shows us the result. It's the after picture that reveals the new, better world our hero has created for themselves. So let's bring it back to Alex one last time. He wrestled with that new scheduling software, that was his conflict. But he did it, and he made it to his daughter's next school play. That's the climax, the big emotional win. And the aftermath is a completely transformed life. He now has the dream business he always wanted, and the family time he was so close to losing. See how that all comes together? Okay, so now you have the 6 steps. You've got the whole blueprint. But before you can even start building your story, you have to answer the single most important question there is. Who is the hero? Because this one choice, it changes everything. You've basically got 2 main paths you can go down. First, you can tell your own story, making you the hero. This can be amazing for building personal trust and connection. But the risk is that it can sometimes come across as a little self-serving. The other path? Make your customer the hero. This is incredibly powerful because your audience gets to see someone just like them succeed, which is the ultimate proof that your solution works. And here's the thing, whether the hero is you or one of your customers, this one question is your golden key. Just ask, what single event moved you to finally take action? Why is this question so powerful? Because the answer is your crisis. It's the emotional core of the entire story. It's the moment everything changed. So there you have it, the entire journey laid out. You establish a normal world in the setup, you shatter it with a powerful crisis, you show the hero's pursuit and all the conflict they have to face, you deliver that big emotional win in the climax, and finally, you reveal the brand new reality in the aftermath. And that's the blueprint. This isn't about tricks or manipulation, it's about connecting with people on a fundamental, deeply human level. You now have all the tools you need to make your own ideas resonate.